All right, good morning, traders. Today is December 27, 2023. My SPY pivot this morning is 475.14. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab Five. Now, I call the Fab Five FNGU, DIA, SPY, IWM, and QQQ. All right, they all remain in bullish daily uptrends. The SPY and the IWM made new yearly highs yesterday. FNGU is making a bull flag, consolidating under the 240 level, which is providing some resistance at this time. DIA, that's Diamond Dow, is making a bull flag and consolidating under 375.50 level, which that resistance there. QQQ inked out a new all-time high yesterday. Nice work for the QQQ. Silver remains bullish, but appears to be stuck in quadrant 3 of the last pullback, making the higher low on the daily chart. GLD remains bullish and is attacking the yearly high. USO is technically in an uptrend and finally producing a complete candle over the daily downtrend line. Good news there. UNG is still in a daily downtrend and consolidating at the $5 level. The US dollar index has resumed its daily downtrend after a brief bear flag, and finally breaking below the rubber band candle. All right, so let's go take a look at some charts. And let's start off with the SPY. So here's the SPY, inked out a new yearly high right there yesterday. Higher low, higher high, bullish, still in a daily uptrend, closing over the 3 EMA. Everything's still bullish there. How did we get the pivot? John, how do you get your pivot? All right, I look where price moves up and then moves down. So there was a lot of friction right here between buyers and sellers, and it seemed to be a popular place. It's kind of the market's way of telling you this is an important number. So 475.14, above it, I'm going to be a bull. Below it, I'm going to be a bear. It very well may spike it on the 30-minute chart and then fling back up. We'll see what happens. So that's how I get my morning SPY pivot. I get one every morning. So let's go take a look at QQQ. Here's QQQ making a new all-time high, higher low, higher high, closing above the 3 EMA there. Looking good for QQQ. FNGU. FNGU moving up and then over to the right. You can see 240 providing some resistance up here. Every time it gets up above, it seems to get shot back down. So you can see anytime you see big wicks like this, well, that's a sign of sellers. Down here, still got some buyers because we're still bullish. So it's bull flagging right now until they can get over the 240 level. Now it's been 1, 2, 3, 4. It's getting close to that 5-day mark where it's could be ready for a breakout. We'll see what happens. Good morning, Bobby. So there's FNG. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Here's Diamond Dow consolidating under 375.50 level right there. Hey, good morning, John Fox. Good to see you again. All right, so you can see this is in a bull flag consolidating right underneath there. All right, so no new all-time highs for Diamond Dow yesterday, but let me just say they did make a shot at it. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow in a bull flag, just kind of stuck under 375.50. We'll see if they can get anything done today. All right, let's take a look at IWM. Now, IWM, this is the Russell 2000. So that's roughly about 2,000 stocks inside that ETF. So it's a broader picture of the market, unlike Diamond Dow, which is typically 30 stocks. NASDAQ's 100, that's QQQ. S&P is usually 500. So they modify them. People get kicked out because they can't perform. So right now, this is the broadest ETF that I cover. This is 2,000 stocks right there in this ETF. So you can see on the broader picture, market's still moving up. So here's market moving up, consolidating, moving up, consolidating, and moving up again. So IWM up here at the 204 level and very bullish, closing over the 3 EMA there. So they very well could make an extended move to the upside and then look for some pullback. So there's IWM making a new yearly high. Not an all-time high. The all-time high is way up here, 244. They got a little bit of work to do to get up there. But there's IWM on the daily chart, definitely bullish, making higher highs. So all of them are all in daily uptrends. Now let's go take a look at our technicals before we hit the sectors. Here's T2122. Here's price action. This is a 15-minute T22. And we look at what we got going on here in the technicals. And you got mainly in the overbought zone all day yesterday. So more bullish action happens between the buy zone and the overbought zone. In the chop zone, I try to stay clear of that, but you find you get a lot more price action when you're in the overbought or in the buy zone. So things still very much bullish today, T2122. Now that measures all of the NYSE stocks. So that's just about 7,000, I think, or more. So it's a very broad picture of what's going on. T2123, again, all the stocks in the New York Stock Exchange. Started out green, ended green, never gave up a red candle right there. You can see on T2123, just bullish all day yesterday. And you can look at T2122, obviously bullish all day. Made a higher low and made higher highs all day long on T2122 and T2123 until the very end. Then we made a lower low right there. T2123 3-bar chart. You can see trend indicators closing in the space on the price action. So it's getting kind of ready to round off. We'll see what they want to do. FNGU indicator. Now I use this because this is a lot of the big FANG stocks that move the QQQ and move the SPY, because these are some of the heavyweights that are in the QQQ and are in the SPY. And I've seen many a days where, 7,000 stocks went down, but the 10 in the FNGU are so strong and so weighted that they could actually move the SPY and the QQQ up, while all 7,000 of the other stocks were on their way down. So I like to keep an eye on this one, because this one can move the market all by itself. Like I said, you could have 7,000 stocks dropping, and FNGU can be moving up, and just the price action from the FNGU can lift the QQQ and the SPY by themselves. Just the 10 components inside the FNGU. So I like to keep an eye on it because I like to trade the SPY. I like to trade SPY options because they're very liquid. And when I get the direction right, or if I get a 10-minute uptrend where the 3 on the 10-minute chart, where the 3 crosses up and over the 8 EMA, I like to play that to the bullish side with calls or bull put credit spreads, either one. So there's FNGU. So those are the indicators that I like to take a look at during the midday, kind of see what's going on. So now let's go back and visit a few sectors, all right? So let's take a look at SMH. SMH inking out new highs all-time highs yesterday. You can see that was the last all-time high. SMH inking out just a little bit more higher high for all time. That's SMH is at an all-time high right now. Kind of weird, semiconductors doing so well with all of the, I don't know, seems to me like a lot of them are being made over in Asia, and it doesn't seem like Asia, I guess, is just now getting back on track. So I guess they think great things are going to be coming for the semiconductors. So nice move for the semiconductors. Let's look at the transports. It's the IYT. And you can see the transports. So here's the yearly high right up here. And that's about 268.09. You can see we challenged it a couple weeks ago. And now we're back up here trying to challenge it once again, making a higher low. You know what I say when I see the higher low? It's going to be pressure on the bulls to produce that higher high. So we're up here attacking that yearly high on the transports. Now, where's the all-time high? All-time high is not too much further away, 281.80. A little bit more work to do. Now, the SPY's closing in on the all-time high. So the all-time high for SPY is 479.94, and you can see we got up to yesterday 476.58. So we are within striking distance of making new all-time highs in the SPY. Now the QQQ has already done that. So let's go back and take a look at the financials. And here we are with the financials. Financials producing. Go back to here's 2023. There's the last high. You can see the financials have made new yearly high 2 weeks ago. And we're back up here yesterday. You see the price action, higher low, higher high, closing above the 3 EMA, very bullish. So we're back up here yesterday trying to attack this yearly high that we made. Now the all-time high for the financials, so quite a bit of distance away up here. It's all the way up at 41.58. Now we probably were on track to do that until the regional banks had a bit of a crisis, and that knocked us right off the track. And it took us a while to get everything sorted out and cleaned up. And now you can see the financials making new all-time highs 2 weeks ago right there. So now let's take a look at USO. So here's crude oil. We have a downtrend. Price was under the downtrend. All right. And then yesterday we finally broke the downtrend line. So you can see right here, there was the last high. Let me cross this out. Pick up my drawing tools. And I want that one. So here's the last high right here. And you can see then we made a higher high right there. And then a higher low. And then we made another higher high. And another higher low. And now we just made another higher high. So if this trend continues, this would be nice for those oil stocks. If we could get those oil stocks back on track, we could see, new all-time highs for the SPY. Now the NASDAQ, the QQQ is pretty much, it's kind of tech heavy, but the SPY holds a lot of those big boys like Chevron and BP and Valero and all of them. If we could get them going in the right direction, I think the SPY is going to have no problem producing new all-time highs. And of course, like I said, we're within striking distance of it right now. So here's USO, technically in an uptrend, but it was under the downtrend line until yesterday. And then they finally produced a candle over the downtrend line. So that's good news for the USO. So that's starting a new uptrend and finally breaking the downtrend line. So there's keep an eye on this for some opportunity to pick some up and carry it up there to $80. We'll see. Come up here and attack this resistance up there. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG, take that off the charts right there. So here's UNG, still in a downtrend. Okay, here's a downtrend line right through here. And we're just now breaking. We haven't quite made a higher high yet. So you can see here's the last high. All right, and we still haven't made. We made the higher low, but we still haven't made that higher high. And I gotta tell you, in the pre-market, we're up here fall 506. That could happen today. So UNG could finally be in an uptrend. Might be a nice buying opportunity. Let me just pan out here, and you can see how badly UNG has been beaten up. All right, so here's the highs, 34. Here's where we are. These were all-time lows right there. We're down here at 492.50, $5.06. So this represents quite a bit of opportunity. If we could ever get back up there with inflation and everything, you'd think this would be have no problem getting back to 15. And of course, we could put the quad lines in and dream a little bit. So you can see just getting back to the midpoint would be $20. That would be a triple, Actually, that would be a quadruple, because you get a double, that'd take you back to 10. A triple would be 15, and a quadruple would take you back to 20. So that would be like a 4-bagger right there. If we could pick some of this up at the lows and hold it till it gets up to 20, that would be the midpoint. So there's UNG, all right, offering up possible change in trend, breaking trend. Okay, USO doing the same thing. So if you want to get in early in what could be the bottom of the market, or a bottom that looks like it's being put in, UNG and USO offers some opportunity to the upside. That is, if they can keep moving up. All right. Now, just because they broke the trend does not mean they're going to move up. They might just hockey stick out and move to the right. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Again, you can play this trend until it's done, till it breaks. When the trend is over, then you get out. But here's an opportunity to get in now at the beginning. So let's take a look at silver and gold. So here's silver. Here's the midpoint. So here's silver putting in a high. And we've got a higher low here. And we're kind of consolidating at the midpoint before we come up here and attack the new highs. Now, when I see a higher low, pressure's on the bulls to produce a new higher high. And you can see right now we're just consolidating at the midpoint. Can't quite get it done. Yesterday's price action, not quite as bullish as gold. You'll see in just a second. You can see kind of like a lower low and a lower high here on silver, but a much different candle from the day before, and that would be last Friday. So here's GLD. You can see GLD is doing something completely different. Again, it's produced a higher low, but you can see GLD yesterday produced a higher low and almost in attacking that high that it made on Friday. And here is the high for the year. Pretty sure that's the high for the year. Yep. Okay, so that's the yearly high. So you can see price action attacking that yearly high that we made 3 or 4 weeks ago. So gold making a comeback here. So keep an eye on those gold stocks. So what's driving gold, silver, oil, gas up? Let's go take a look. All right, let's find this. Okay, we got a dollar. So here's our dollar. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and drag it down if I can. Here we go. All right, so here's the July lows. And this would be the September highs. So the July lows were down here around 99.50. September highs were up here around 107.25. Now, if you guys remember, GDP last week was not quite what was expected, and I tend to think that the high dollar index for the month of October and November probably had a little bit to do with that. Okay, because when our dollar's more expensive to convert it, all right, it makes our goods and services more expensive, and we're not quite as competitive on the global in the global economy. So other countries that can produce the same thing for less wind up winning some of that consumer money out there. But now we've got the dollar falling. As you can see, it's falling since October and all through November and December. And this is providing a whole lot of lift to the market. So as the dollar gets cheaper, you got to think about it. It's going to take more dollars to buy an ounce of gold. And that's why you're getting that big pop in gold and silver. And you can see USO and UNG kind of putting in a bottom now. And that's all courtesy of the US dollar pulling back. That's a weaker dollar. Now, I don't know what that's going to do for our inflation. They said they wanted to keep inflation under 2.2. This is going to wreck CPI if it's this cheap, because that'll put higher demand on products. But this is the rubber band candle. If you want to know which one it was, this is the flat 200. This is my blue line. That's the flat 200. Now I give it one candle spike and then one free candle. Now you can notice probably some of the biggest red candles you ever seen, but you can see here's the one free candle that's not attached to the flat 200 period moving average. And you can see price action was consolidating, and then finally it broke free a few days ago, and then we broke through the rubber band. So in my eyes, the rubber band candle has now snapped. There's no chance in this slinging price back up toward the flat 200. You notice how price comes up. It's attached here at this green candle. And then you get the rubber band candles, that second green candle. And what does price do? It snaps back to the flat 200. And then we do it again, and it snaps back to the flat 200. So here we are on the downside, and you could be expecting this to snap back to the flat 200. And instead, we stretched it so far, we broke it. So now with this could inspire the bulls to really push the market now that the rubber band candle has snapped. And it may cause the bears to give up defending, areas in the SPY, because that rubber band candle has now snapped. They might not offer as much resistance as you think they would up here between the yearly high and the all-time high. So we had a really bullish day after seeing that rubber band candle snap yesterday, and I'm looking for more follow-through again today. We'll see what happens. Right now we're up around 475.88 in the pre-market, and we'll see where we go from there. So that's it. So let's take a look at some economic numbers. All right, so here's my economic calendar. And I'm just going to put this in case you're new and you don't know where it is. I'm going to put it right here in the chat. And that's the economic calendar I use. So we got Chicago Fed National Activity Index, 830. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one in all my years. The National Activity Index. Case-Shiller, that's an old one. Case-Shiller Home Price Index, 9 o'clock today. FHFA Housing Price Index, 9 o'clock also. So Chicago Fed, that's 8:30. Case-Shiller, 9. FH More Housing, 9 o'clock. Dallas Fed Manufacturing, that's going to come out at 10:30. And they're going to do a money supply at 1 p.m. So we'll see what happens there. For tomorrow, the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. Oh, today's Wednesday. I hate that when I miss a day. Thanks, Centauri. So all of this was yesterday, all right? And me, I'm just now catching up. I got to get some more coffee. So Richmond Fed's coming out at 10 today, and nothing else is happening. Thursday, tomorrow, international trade goods, 8:30. Jobless claims, 8:30. Retail inventories, 8:30. A whole lot of 8:30. Wholesale inventories, 8:30. Pending home sales, 10. Natural gas, 10:30. No Fed speakers. They're all on vacation. That's good news. Federal balance sheet, 4:30. And Friday, we got Chicago PMI at 9:45. All right, earnings calendar. They don't even know if they're going to report in the morning or in the evening. Nothing really notable here. This is only 664 million. Not quite a notable for tomorrow. Again, we got 15 billion. Not really a notable. On the 29th, we got 481 million, not really a notable. So nothing here that's going to move the markets. Not to mention they don't even know if they're going to report before or after on those. All right. Max Payne for today. I think it's going to be 471. We'll see what it comes in at. Max Payne for today is 471. We'll see if they go for it or just ignore it. All right, Max Payne for tomorrow, 472. Okay, put to call ratio. There's less than one put for every call for Max Payne for today. So this equal puts, equal calls. On tomorrow, we got 1.5 puts to every call, and that's tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. See where this jumps. Okay, we got almost 3 puts to every call, and that's on February 2nd. That's so far off, that could change. And January 31st, no, January 26th, almost 5-1 puts to call on January 26th. So it looks like we could have a good January, and they're kind of projecting right now February is going to be a probable pullback month. We'll see what happens. All right, traders. I play a 3/8 cross on a 10-minute chart. 3 crosses over the 8. I like to go bullish. 3 crosses under the 8. I like to be bearish. If it's just going to cross back and forth, that's chop. I try to stay clear of it. All right. I trade a lot of options. I urge each and every one of you to pick up a paper account and follow along on a paper account. I don't want you losing your hard-earned money. I'd like to see you get proficient with a paper account first, trade that, work with it, and then after you get confident on the strategies that you like to use, then you could decide, make that decision whether you want to go live with real money. But in the beginning time, I'd really like to see you pick up a paper account and just practice with that. Practice. And the more practice you get in, you can never have too much. All right. So I'm urging you not to lose your money. I do not want to see you lose money because you don't understand the strategy that I use. All right. So I implore you, please pick up a paper account and follow along on the paper account. All right. Second, okay, you can't improve what you don't measure. It's another thing I implore you to do. Track your trades. All right? If you can't measure it, how do you know if you're improving? All right? So there's two things right there. Paper and tracking. All right? Because I want you to succeed. Your success is is goal number one. I can succeed. I got no problem succeeding. But the big thing is I want to get all of you into the success category. And it's not going to happen until it's going to be a long road. You'll get there a whole lot faster with a little bit of practice and a whole lot of tracking. And then you can see what you did wrong, what works, and what doesn't work. And let me just say this, the market changes all the time. We were in a downtrend for a long time right here from July all the way to November. Okay? And the market, see, here's the market changes. The market can change. It always does. What used to work might not work again. So you have to change with it. So be ready for the changes. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to render my video. I will take questions in the room. I do have some things I want to go over. If you scroll up in the chat, you're going to see. Let me pull this over here. I'll go up in the chat. If you scroll up in the chat, I'll just bring this out here. It's easier. Scroll up in the chat. I provide this every morning and I post it. You'll see that. Okay, come up a little further. If you're interested in getting a 30-day trial, they're only $24.50. And you get 30 days of being in the BYOB trading room, and you can ask me all kinds of questions. And let me just say, I urge you to ask me questions. John, why did you enter there? John, why did you shut that trade down there? John, why did you do this? Remember, our job is to manage risk. That's your number one job. Manage risk so that you don't lose money. All right? So I urge you to ask a lot of questions because that will just accelerate your learning if you ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Please put the questions in the chat because your question is going to help probably 40 or 50 others in the room as well. All right, here's my Facebook page. There's the link for it. I'm asking you to join. You don't have to, but I'm asking you to join if you'd like. Okay, up here I've got YouTube channel. I'd like you to subscribe. You don't have to, but I'd like it. And there's my email address. If you're not a member of BYOB, you can still email me questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so, and then if you come up here, all right, you'll see this was the reload box that I reloaded yesterday, my SPY calls. So I posted that in the room so that others could see. This is where I want to reload. You can see where price is there right now. So this is the kind of training that I do while I'm in the room. This right here, this is my ending inventory for the evening right there. So I share that with you every evening, what I got left, what I'm working with, so there's no surprises. Like, how come he's selling those 475 calls? Where did those come from? I don't even remember him buying them. Well, it all comes from what I carried over from last night. So there's no surprises. I'm very transparent, okay? I like you to know everything I'm doing so you can ask questions and learn. Now, I've taken my demo account from 32,000 up to over 750,000. And I think you all can do the same thing. Now, I like to trade SPY options, and let me just say the majority of those gains came from getting direction right and playing the right option. Those two things are what accelerated my my account growth, is direction right and the correct option. And you can have more than one correct option. But those two things together, combined, accelerated the growth of my account. This is my calendar. I track what I do, my wins, my losses. Every trader has losing trades, even me. All right? So you'll have winners and losers. The idea, again, your number one job is to manage risk. So cut those losers short, shut them down right away, and let your winners run as far as you can. All right? Now, professional traders take profit on the way. So if I see a pop, I will take profit into the pops. Okay? If the market breaks out, I like to take profit. On the pullbacks, I reload. And I play just like a market maker. You see a pop, I skin some off, and then I reload on the dips. Sometimes they don't give me the dip, and in which case it just keeps going. And I just take more profit, or I hold till it gets to the next level. The other one, my account value. I share what I traded yesterday, what I made money with, what I lost money with. So every day I share all of this with traders so they know my results and see them day after day after day. I don't trade the pre-market. I don't trade the post-market. Everything I trade is during market hours. And when I first started out, I didn't do this many alerts. And I've been getting more comfortable at doing alerts. And you can scroll back at these alerts, and you'll see all of them produce profits all the way back, and you can keep going. On Friday, I was in the free room. If you go in the free room, you'll see my alerts in there, and that alert came out right out of the gate and made good money in the free room. And then I finally was able to make my way back to the BYOB room. So it's all right there. So I'm going to take a little 30-minute break. Post your questions in there, all right, so you can accelerate your learning. All right, I'm going to take a 30-minute break, render my video, and get it posted. All right.